Here talking through even more information about greenhouse gases for your GCSE chemistry exam. To get up to speed, make sure you check out the previous episode so you know what's going on, because we're going into even more detail, we're getting even more granular, and it's going to be even more fun, I promise. Okay, so let's dive in. Greenhouse gases and climate change. Although the Earth's atmosphere naturally changes, the recent increase in temperature is connected to increasing atmospheric greenhouse gas concentrations. The scientific consensus is that increased greenhouse gas emissions caused by changes to human activity will lead to global climate change. And this consensus is based upon peer-reviewed evidence. And that's what scientists like. They like peer-reviewed evidence. There are a few cute models we're going to talk over, but the global climate system is super complicated, so it's hard to create accurate models. Therefore, people speculate about climate change based on simpler models and inadequate, not enough, or not reliable information. Some people may have reasons to play down the contribution of greenhouse gas emissions to climate change. If these biased opinions are published in the media, misinformation can spread. #fake news. So, greenhouse gases and climate change. There is some evidence that greenhouse gases are related to climate change, but there is also misinformation. The current scientific consensus based on peer-reviewed evidence is that increased greenhouse gas emission caused by changes to human activity will lead to global climate change. And that word misinformation again, the complexity of the global system makes it difficult to create accurate models. And so there is some speculation. The publishing of biased opinions in the media can lead to the spreading of misinformation. So those are the two key things to take away: evidence and misinformation. Now let's talk about global climate change. Increasing the average global temperature is a significant cause of global climate change, and the potential consequences are severe and wide-ranging. Let's start by talking about the melting of the polar ice caps. Now, these polar ice caps, they shouldn't melt. If they do melt, it causes sea levels to rise, leading to flooding and erosions of coastal regions, and also causes some species to be less successful hunters, like the cute little polar bear. There are also meteorological events that we need to consider. The frequency and severity of extreme meteorological events, such as storms, heat waves, and droughts, could increase. Next, changes in water availability, and this could affect species distributions. There could also be changes in precipitation. This could be a different amount, timing, or distribution of precipitation. So regions could receive much less or much more precipitation, like rain, than they're used to. And finally, food shortages. A combination of some or all of these factors can hinder regions' ability to produce food, and this could lead to potential famines. So, do we remember some consequences of melting polar ice caps? So, it could cause flooding of coastal regions, erosion of coastal regions, and reduced hunting success of polar bears. But it could also do something to sea levels. Are sea levels going to rise or fall? So they're going to rise due to the melting ice caps. Now let's talk over some of those possible consequences of global warming. There are 5 important ones to remember. It's changes in water availability, more frequent extreme weather, food shortages, changes in precipitation, and melting of the polar ice caps. So those are the 5 that you need to remember for your chemistry exam. So what reasons might people have to play down the contribution of greenhouse gas emission to climate change? Well, let's talk through it. So a common bias is that an individual is involved in an industry which relies on something like burning fossil fuels, because remember, fossil fuels release greenhouse gases, boom, just the greenhouse effect. Burning fossil fuels is central to the individual's profession, but it's also known to release lots of carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. So this particular individual, not naming any names, #impartial, this person may want to play down the negative effects of greenhouse gases in order to avoid more regulation of that particular industry. So that is how misinformation can spread. But as scientists, we like peer-reviewed evidence. That's what we want. And on that note, we're at the end of the episode, so I hope that was a useful run through of greenhouse gases, evidence, and misinformation. Keep up all your hard work. Make sure you check out the other episodes in the series to get up to speed on everything for your exam, and best of luck with all of your prep.